I just love how Spirit just shows up. There's so much happening here in the center that just works like that. Andy picks these wonderful musicians to come together. I sort of throw my talk title at him, and then he gives it to the musician, and they come up with these songs, right? They pick it themselves. I don't get into figuring all that stuff out. And that first song was so perfect for the meditation. And this one, Love is All That We're Here For. That's what we're talking about this month. This is the month of love, and I'm talking about it through the lens of Mary. When I was telling about my Mary experience, it hit me that, you know what? I think I'm going to let that, yeah. That's how, because I don't want to, Valentine's month, and it's all about, and it's Black History Month. I thought, well, that could be, but no, that's not going to be it. What's it going to be? Oh, yeah, love, love, love. And then you got that talk. And then today, it's the wind cries Mary, all right? And so I thought it would be, whoa, how did that work out, right? Man, the wind out there? Is it crying? Big time. So I said, oh, that's perfect. And I wrote that like 3 weeks ago, and so programmed that in there. Then I thought I would look up, I said, well, since I'm using the Jimi Hendrix song, let me look it up. Has nothing. There's nothing there. He had a girlfriend named Mary, and they had a big fight, and then he wrote that song. You got to stretch big time to get spiritual out of that one. That didn't work. But don't worry about it. It really wasn't about that anyway. It was about the love of your mother, the great mother, the Mary mother, but also the earth mother. And then Patrick calls me with this reading. I'm going, that's perfect. That's exactly right. Spirit's showing up in all these different wonderful ways. Now, show up as the talk. Boom, boom. No, that one. This screen. All right, fine. You don't want to be on there? I don't need you. All right, here we go. This one touches me because, I grew up in a family that was kind of a little bit like Ernest's home family without the church. We were allowed to do whatever we wanted to on Sunday. If you wanted to go to church, you could go to church, and sometimes, as I mentioned before, I would go with my grandfather, who was a Baptist preacher, and I'd follow him around to different churches, and I loved that experience. It was pretty crazy, with the ladies in the white outfits and the tissues and the people talking in tongues and screaming and hollering, and it was that Hellraiser kind of stuff, Lord, and so that was kind of exciting to go and be a part of. And then there was a girl down the block who went to this Episcopal church, and I liked her, so I went to Episcopal church for a while. And then that went away because you know how teenagers are. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. So was church, and so that went out the window. And so I was basically the unchurched. My church was nature. I'd like to go out and sit and climb a tree and watch the ants crawl around on the tree, or go to the beach. And when I lived here as a kid, I lived in South LA. It wasn't called South Central then, it was just South LA. And I could ride my bike because my parents gave us a lot of freedom. So here I don't know if you know the city very well, but I was at Manchester and Western. And I would ride my bike from there to Playa del Rey, to the beach at like 10, 11 years old, it was okay. You could do that then, and Mom didn't worry about it. And I'd get down there to the beach, and I'd love to just put my ear to the shore and listen to the waves hit on the on the beach. Just love that, just listening to nature, and lay there and let your feet dig in and dig for the sand crabs and all that kind of stuff. It was such a blast. And we would also ride there through this like gully. I thought it was a gully, but it turned out it was a freeway that was being constructed. It was the 105 freeway. Now, check this out. When I first came back to Los Angeles to work at Fox 11, that was my first before I went to Channel 2, I was at Fox 11, when it was still Metro Media. And Simon Editor said, today you're going to go out and you're going to do a freeway dedication. Freeway opening. I go, okay, great. So I'm riding with the crew, and we're riding down, and we're going down Western, and I'm like, hey, I know, I grew up right there. That's my elementary school, right around the corner from here. Let's go around there. So we went over to LaSalle Avenue Elementary, and I showed it to the photographer. He's like, oh, you grew up around here? I said, yeah, that's the house I grew up in right there, And then we keep driving, and turns out that the hole that I used to ride my bike in was the freeway that I was going to the opening of. Your tax dollars at work. It took 30 years to build the 105 freeway. That was crazy. Crazy. So here I am, this unchurched person, and then I find this life experience. It brings me to Centers for Spiritual Living, to religious science, and I'll tell that story at another time. But part of my journey in ministerial school was to go to Casa de Maria every year for our weekly retreat. Yeah? Casa de Maria? Is it beautiful? So how many Reformed Catholics in the room? All right, so recovering, is that what it is? Recovering Catholics, all right, that's it. Recovering Catholics, all right. So I say that now, let it go, you're here, you're safe. So as we go through this month, there's going to be a lot of Mary in the house. It's okay. We'll take it from the science of mind perspective. So here I am. One of the things we have to do as part of our journey in ministerial school is there are these 15 competencies that you have to take in internships, and one of them is a silent retreat. So before the annual school retreat, I went to Casa de Maria a week early for my week of silence. And I'm walking around, I got my water bottle, and I've got silent retreat on my water bottle, and anybody come up to you and start talking, I put my water bottle in their face, Nope, don't talk, And so here I am at this thing, and I think some of you might have been here when I talked about this. I'm sitting at this fountain, and I'm just doing my listening thing because it's nature and it's beautiful and it's such a lovely place and the energy's so wonderful. And all of a sudden, the wind cried Mary for me. The wind literally cried Mary. Mary cried out on the wind, and she said, "Stephen, come and sit at my feet and pray. Kneel at my feet and pray." And, no. I'm not doing that. And I said it again. And I went, well, I am a religious scientist. Here's an experiment I could do. Let me try and see what this is all about. I love sacred spaces. This is a sacred space. That clearly was a sacred voice. So here's happening. Come sit with me, kneel at my feet and pray. And there she is. That's the one. And that's me, selfie. And that's the statue. And so I went over to her, and I got down on my knees, and I began to pray. And pray. And get quiet. And then tears started rolling down my face. And I cried for a long time. And or a lot, not all, but a lot of hurt and pain and anguish and stress and judgments about myself went away. Wow, that was a powerful moment. She's here. Huh? Meditation. It's the wind. The energy. The energy is intense. So here I am, Casa de Maria. And I noticed, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just come down a dark right in there, some dirt in there, and right under here, and there's some more right there. And so the next day, I was there with my camper van, and I've got everything. It's like Boy Scout, right? I get everything in there. So next day I went, and I got all of my tools and all my rags and sprays and stuff, and I cleaned her up. and the nuns at Casa de Maria are looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm cleaning Mary. She needs it, So that became my statue. And since that time, I have collected a lot of Mary paraphernalia, a lot of Mary books, and I got images of Mary, and I keep her with me because there's this energy, this love energy, That's really what's so important for me. It's the love energy that she brings, And so for me, when the wind screams, when the wind cries, it cries love, because love is all we're here to do. And in this month that we're talking about, that's what I want to share. And as I've studied Mary a little bit, I've come to see that, she just doesn't belong to the Catholics. She's a spiritual rock star. All the different faiths really celebrate Mary. In the Quran, they have an entire chapter on Mary. They don't have that in the Bible, but they do in the Quran. Interesting. So she is Muslim, Christian, Jew. Mary is the lady. And it's interesting that she's this wonderful mother because, we all have a mom, but sometimes we also need a mother figure. We need something even bigger than the mom, the earth mom that we come to. And so she represents that presence, that template. Dr. Holmes, studying Plotinus, understood patterns of perfect unfoldment, templates, archetypal images. And the archetypal image of mother is represented in this Mary. So, while we believe that we don't need an intercessory between us and God in the Science of Mind teaching, if you want to have one, you can have one because it is done unto you as you believe. And if something helps deepen your understanding of spirit, if something helps guide you to spirit, Mary can be one for you. It is for me. You may have your own. Because what I see here is there's this woman named Janice T. Connell who's written about 8 or 9 books on Mary. And she says that Mary's sole mission is to bring us into the presence of God. And our entire experience of life is to reconnect to that presence of God. Dr. Holmes says that we have been left alone to make the great discovery for ourselves. The discovery that we are one with the divine, that there is a perfect emanation of spirit working through us, that there's a spark of divinity within us, that we get to live that more fully. And sometimes we may need an aid to get to that. And Mary shows us. She shows us how to be happy, how to discover what God wants us to do in our lives. That's why I go into this gap all the time with you, because I want us to discover what is it that we're here to do with our lives. Sometimes we wake up in the morning, and if you're waking up and like, oh, I gotta go to work today, or if there's any kind of about your waking up, you may not yet have discovered what it is you're here to do. Because when you're here to do what you are here to do, you wake up, you might have that for a second, but then after that, it's like, oh, it's Christmas, and it comes back again. The urge, the desire, the excitement of what life brings to you. Yeah, you might have had a dream overnight that kind of took you to a left turn, but then you wake up and, oh, I get to climb the mountain again today. Oh, I get to love my kids today. I get to play my guitar today. I get to sing today. I get to just go to work and be a great employee and to be of service to the people that I work with. These are the things that we get to do in our lives that make life that much better for us. But how do we get to there? We get there by doing some listening, by going deep within. By the way, one of my Mary images, isn't that a beautiful image? I just love that. That's actually, it's on the wall. It's actually wrought iron. It's just this wrought iron outing, and it's just sitting on the wall. It looks like that. It's really beautiful. It's gorgeous. So it's really about listening. It's so interesting to me how our lives, everything in our lives prepares us for where we are. Remember I was talking about how I'd like to ride my bike to the beach and I would lay there and listen to the waves, right? And climbing trees and just being comfortable with. My mother taught me that. My mother loves to climb trees. That's where it came from. She would have us climb trees together, and it was one of the things that we really liked to do a lot together. We would just sit in the trees and just watch the leaves and see them just move like that. And she'd say, look at the colors, how they're moving back and forth, It's just like amazing. She's an artist. She'd come back and then paint them, So it was just a wonderful thing that we got to do together. And that listening and that connection to being out in nature and to walk. I had an uncle who had that's interesting. I had an uncle who had a Volkswagen camper, and he would take me out into the woods with his friend Bob, and we'd go out hiking. No wonder I own a Volkswagen camper today. All these things that happen when you're younger that prepare you for where you're going later on, right? And I say all that because when I got into my role as a weathercaster, and they were coming around in 1990, we were looking at the 20th anniversary of Earth Day, and the TV station decided, hey, we want to do something around Earth Day, and we think, hey, it should probably be come out of the weather department. Well, there were 3 weathercasters there. There was Kevin O'Connell, there was me, and there was Maclovio Perez. They didn't pick Kevin or Maclovio. They picked me to do this great campaign. Check it out. I was on all the bus depots in Southern California. They had this Love Your Mother, Steve Rambo's Daily Planet. And at every McDonald's in Southern California, they had this stand-up guy, doing my thing. So I thought I'd share that because you just, that's me. Back in the day. You look at that, you look at that old picture, you go, you're cute. So what about today? God, aren't I still cute? No, I know. And I was skinny too. Wow, that was like a whole bunch of Haagen-Dazs before there. Yeah, that was a long time back. Yeah, but the Love Your Mother campaign, it was interesting that I would get to do this because like I said, all the stuff that led up to it, right? And then all that time of doing the weather, and there was something. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I loved doing the weather, and I was good at it, but I didn't ask to do it. It came to me. It was like somebody was at the work and I was and a guy got fired and my boss said, "Hey, you fill in," and I was good at it. And then somebody liked what I was doing and they said, "Hey, your friend is leaving Los Angeles, Bill Austin. Why don't you come and take his job?" And I go, "Well, okay." So I did it, And so there was always this kind of counterfeit feeling in my heart around it, and I never really totally felt comfortable in it. And it was always like, whoa, what's that all about? Well, because it wasn't that call that I was talking about a minute ago. It wasn't what I was called to do. And everybody's calling is not the call like you get to be a minister. Everybody's calling is different. But it just so happened that my call turned out to be ministry. Because when I'm doing this, I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel that, maybe I'm going to get caught and they're going to find out and I'm a fraud. That doesn't happen anymore, I don't. It's an amazing thing when you find your space and you find your place. There's a certain rightness to it where you don't question anymore. You may question how much dedication you give to it. Have you given enough attention right now? Could I give it some more attention? What do I need to do to nurture this thing that I've been called to do? What workshop should I go to? What book should I read right now? Where should I vacation so that I can have the space to do more of it and regenerate and rejuvenate? But when you return back to what it is that you're called to do, you could do it all the time, every day, and never get tired of it. That's what we're all here to do, and we all have something like that to do, and I wish that upon you. And it begins with listening. George Washington Carver says, if you listen, if you love it enough, that's what it is. If you love it enough, anything will talk to you. If you love it enough, anything will talk to you. The it that you need to love enough to have it talk to you is yourself. If you love yourself enough, the self that is within you, not the ego self, the other self, the one that says ego hush, that self, it will talk to you and it will tell you what that divine calling is for you. And that's why we continually emphasize getting quiet, be still and know. Be still and know. And allow that mothering template within you to speak to you, because we all need it and we all get called to it. The other thing that we can love enough that will talk to us is the thing that we live in, Earth itself, this experience of life. If we can listen to life well enough, it will talk to us as well. If we listen to the planet, it will talk to us as well. And there's a lot of talking going on. The planet is screaming to get our attention all the time. You think about it, we're going through drought right now. And all the things that have brought us to suffer through this drought are a result of us not listening to the planet enough, not listening to ourselves, not looking at how we're growing in the community, taking care of our water responsibilities. Look at Nestle, for example. What they're doing with water, they're buying up water left and right, and bottling it and then selling it back. Now, I know that I am a capitalist. I love the idea of making money. It's a fun thing. It allows me to go and buy a cup of Starbucks, take a little dollar, put it on the counter, $5, put it on the counter, it blows up into a cup of coffee. That's really great. If you put enough dollars down, it blows up into a nice Tesla, and you can drive around in an electric car. I mean, it's all kinds of great stuff, It's pretty cool. What is it? Go ahead.
I said $80,000 later.
$80,000 later. Yeah, but we're prosperous. Come on, why not, right? Have you seen the new one with the doors that go?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I bet that's more than 80,000, isn't it? Yeah. And the new electric Volkswagen that's coming out. There's an electric micro minivan coming out. Yeah, that's going to be nice. So we are listening. We see there are these things that are listening to the planet, coming out of electric cars and all this kind of stuff. But are we really doing the work that we need to do? I mean, why is it that there's some people in the world that aren't getting enough food to eat? What is that all about? Why does that happen? Why do we continue to deal with extinctions of animals? Now, part of it is that some of them need to go. They're not working. But there's all these other areas where we can do some work to help that. What are we doing around that? And the population, oh my goodness. I mean, 1974, 4 billion people, and then 12 years later, 5 billion people, and now we're at 7 billion people on the planet. And with 7 billion people, 7 billion emanations of the divine, 7 billion ways for wisdom of the world to speak to us, it seems like maybe we could get the answer to living a little more comfortably and sustainably on the earth. There's a lot of us out here to do, but are we listening? Are we loving it enough so that it will talk to us and tell us what we need to do? Are we really loving our mother the way we love our mom? Are we loving the mother the way we love our mom? Listen to what Patrick was talking about. We're connected to it. The blood that runs through us is the water that runs through the streams, The air that we breathe is the air that the trees breathe and that the animals breathe. What are we going to do to bring that to a higher level of experience for each and every one of us? So as we go into this month of love, are you willing to love the planet as much as you love whatever, fill in the blank? We all have something we love so much. We're like, I just could not live without Fluffy, my kitty cat. What else do we love that much? And what? Did you like that? Because I really don't like cats. But I try. They're sweet sometimes. As long as they don't put the claws on you when they get on you, they're all right. They're cool. Oh boy, the emails are going to be flying. Oh, it's going to be a rough week for the emails. Although, I will tell you, the male tabby cats, there's something about those male tabbies. They got some serious dog energy, Which, here, come, they do. It's like, wow, that's a dog cat. I like that one. Yeah. But you get where I was going, right? I lightened it up because I don't want to get it too heavy. I don't want it to blow everybody away and go out of here depressed. But really, I do want to urge us as we look at this, particularly this month, because this is the month of love, as we look at that, and as you look around, and as you look at the blessings, look at where we live. Simi Valley, Southern California, California itself, and then the United States of America, the North American continent. Our little piece of the world is really pretty neat. But if we start going very far into the rest of the world, we start to see there's a lot of problems going on. And you don't even have to go that far. You can just drive down to where I grew up and see parts of those neighborhoods, There's a lot of work to be done. And there's a lot of listening for us to do. And, Science of Mind is a beautiful teaching for manifesting a better life for each and every one of us, okay? And that works. In 1928, when Dr. Holmes kicked off this idea and really pushed it out there, the Depression had just ended. People were dying when they would go to the doctor because of what the doctor did to them, not because of the disease that they took to them. There was a lot of stuff that the individual, I know that still does happen, but there was a lot of stuff that the individual needed to have support for. And so it was great to have, and it was the rugged, Teddy Roosevelt, it was the rugged individualists of America. That stuff was going on. But you know what? Enough of that. Great. We could do all kinds of great things for ourselves individually, but what can we do for ourselves collectively? So as we look at this month ahead of love, how can we love our fellow man? How can we love and woman? How can we love earth? How can we love our mother? How can we love life itself so that life itself can be better for each and every one of us? That's the thing. That's our role. There's a river in China. Look at this. It's called the New River. It's the last river in China without a dam on it. They've dammed up every river. They got like 3,000 dams. They have so many dams for hydropower in China. They have some that aren't even being used. And here they want to do another one. Nature, Ernest Holmes he talked about nature, about our particular individualized nature, but he also talks about nature in terms of the Mother Earth nature, Nature is composed of one ultimate power, which is God, using many instruments, which is us, right? And having many avenues of expression, which is our consciousness. We have the power to move mountains. And we don't have to do it with land movers. We have the power consciously to move mountains, to shift the planet. Are we ready to use that power to make that shift? He goes on to say, your place in life is to become, shift for me, would you, Dominic? Really? Oh, because I did that. No, I want to do that one. That sounds good. Thanks, Dominic. He keeps me on track here. The care of our rivers is not a question of rivers, but of the human heart. The care of our planet is not a question of the planet itself. It's a question of our heart. It's what we're here to do. This little girl here is standing on the side of the new river. This is the first Japanese conservationist, Tanaka Shozo, who talked about this. I was talking about our role. I got all wrapped up in our role of what we need to do. And doing the Daily Planet shifted my life. It turned me more into an environmentalist than I ever was. And I just think it's an important thing for us all to participate in and to be a part of, to give our heart to this space, And when I think about how, yeah, you're good with that? And I just feel like it's time for us to connect to nature, because it's our nature. It's our nature, but it's also our nature to feel that connection. Who cannot be out at dusk and see the clouds light up the rainbow sky, Or when you see a rainbow, when you see nature, doesn't it have an impact on you? Because it's part of our nature, because we are so connected to it. And so this is a place where we get to experience our oneness that much more completely. So our role is to really be about that and to be present to this experience and to do something more than just go, because we have the power to do that, And what else do we have to do? How much more stuff can we get? We're going through, Johanna and I are going through our homes and blending them together. We've been up in Oakland taking stuff from there. We're starting to go through my house. And I was looking today. I was like, whoa, I got a lot of towels. I got one body. Why do I need all these towels? I need the set that's right now dirty, and then the ones that are clean, and then, the couple for the guests. And the rest can go away. I got a laundromat, Why do you need all that stuff, huh? Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Extra towels. Give them to Christine. She's checking them for the shelters. That's wonderful. Good stuff. See, we can do some of that stuff with our extra things. What is Dr. Holmes? Come, Dr. Holmes, help me out. Tell me something here. Your place in life is to become an outlet for its wisdom. That's right, for the listening that we're talking about. Our job is to be an outlet for the wisdom, intelligence, love, beauty, and creativeness of the universe. We are that anyway, so why don't we get about our job and do it? It's really a fun thing to do. It's a wonderful experience to move through life and do that, to be Earth's helper. To be Earth's helper, to be Earth's mother. Carissa Pincola Estes says that the definition of mother is mothering a world, a child, anything or anyone precious that cannot be allowed to perish from the earth. Wow. What a lovely responsibility we have. To be responsible, as I talked about a couple weeks ago. What a lovely thing we get to do is to protect things that don't need to go away and to keep them here on the face of the earth. That's our job, to do it in the way with the power and the strength that a Mary does it. This woman who was so unconventional, who was so disciplined. Think about it. Whatever you might think about this character, Jesus, think about him as a child. That was some rough work, To raise a kid like that, you had to know you had to be present. You had to have a lot of strength, a lot of discipline, a lot of understanding, a lot of compassion, and we all have that ability. We have that strong will for nature within each and every one of us, and we can be also that compassionate, pure, loving energy as well. We can be this mother of the world if we so choose, so that when the wind cries out to us, if we do our listening, we will know how to respond and then we get to move forward. Listen with your voice to the wind. Be Marian-esque in your life. Love the mother. Love those around you. Recognize that it's not just about us and manifesting a better parking place or even a Tesla with wings. It's about being still. It's about hunting through life without expectations of getting anything, but more about giving something. It's about living our lives without a sense of categories like that belongs here and that belongs there. No, it all belongs here, and we're all a part of it. So as you go throughout the month visiting Mother, because we do it every day that we walk outside into Mother Earth, put your lens on that allows you to ask, what is mine to do? What am I hearing? How can I step forward? How can I make this a better place, not just for me, but for everybody that has the experience of being here? And then when the wind cries out, you'll know what to do. And so it is. That's nice. So back to the affirmation. Now you know what it's all about. Here we go. Let's do it together. I hear the cries of the wind and respond to the great mother with love in action. And so it is. Nice. Healing prayer time. I feel a gong coming on. That's a nice one. Oh, did you find it? Don't let, see, this is why they don't let us out much. Healing prayer time, folks. All right, so we know what treatment's all about, and we've seen it demonstrated in our lives. Let's bring it into someone else's life today. If we go into treatment today, if it's for yourself and you need something, I get it. But I invite you to expand this moment beyond the self, to take this prayer time today out to someone else. Bring someone to mind, be it the planet itself, as we've been talking about, someone you know, a population on the planet, a country, our world leaders. But bring something to mind that we can raise up to a higher vibration through our shared consciousness in this moment. Know that there is a pattern of wholeness and perfection within whatever idea you are sharing in your mind. Bring it out full. Here we go. There's one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life and the life of every person in this room and everyone and everything we are thinking about in this moment. So we take this collective consciousness that is formed around the one idea of God, and we now release it into a perfect unfoldment of more truth, beauty, harmony, understanding, compassion, healing, right guidance, perfect action, wholeness unfolding. See, we're a collective consciousness here that is seeing, conceiving, believing, and now achieving good in the world. What we are recognizing as true in an intention that we are now giving some attention to, we are now seeing as realized, as actualization, as demonstration, as manifestation, as the thing itself coming into being right now, this moment. So whatever it is you've been thinking about and now seeing as perfect and whole and complete, let it float up with gratitude into an infinite loving arms of law that is ready and waiting to make manifest that which you have held in mind. Trusting in the law, we let it go and affirm it together by saying, and so it is.